Let's talk about how to get out of the negative cycle. Hello everyone, my name is Tiwi and welcome to the TiwiDiaries YouTube channel. So let's get started. Recently, one of my friends actually messaged me about a recent video I did, and I was talking about the fact that we should stop being negative. And she mentioned that we shouldn't push our negative feelings down, and I completely agree. The point I was getting at in that video is to ensure that people understand that we should not be in this negative cycle. It's not normal, it shouldn't be normalized. If you're going through it, there are ways that we should try and get out of it. So I want to talk about a couple of my experiences on how I've gotten out of negative cycles. Okay, so first, journaling. What I do is I tend to journal out all my thoughts, and I just go on an emotional rant. I write it all down and I get everything out. Okay, and this really helps me release my emotions and go through them. And then what I do is I end up ripping the piece of paper, because that in itself really helps just release that negative energy. So I rip up the piece of paper and then I throw it in the bin, and then it's just that negativity is gone. Okay, it's really helped me go through some really overwhelming times. I do this especially when I'm very overwhelmed with things. And yeah, it really helps. So I just want to show you that this is a journal that I use to journal out all my thoughts, and literally most of it is empty because I rip it out and throw it in the bin. And then on top of that, another thing that I advise people to do, because journaling, I feel like people do it and they talk about it a lot on the internet as well, but what I do specifically is I parent myself through it. So whenever I'm writing in my journal, after I've done that whole rant of just emotional release, I talk to myself logically. I write to myself logically. Okay, so for example, if I'm stressing about exams, I literally write to Wanthia, there is no point in stressing for this exam because you've done all you can, and blah blah blah, it is what it is, so on and so forth, just so I can think more logically instead of emotionally. Because sometimes when you just think so emotionally, you just go into this cycle, and then it's just you feel so drained by the end of it, and you feel like you can't get up and you can't do anything, and so on and so forth. So because of that, I use this method where I'm parenting. It's what you have to think is, if I was a parent and my child or a kid was in that situation, what advice would I give him or her? What advice would I give them? That will help you logically think, and what I do is I actually write it down, so then my thoughts are more organized. So that's something that's really helped me, and I highly recommend everyone try that out. Second thing that I want to talk about is gratitude. Gratitude is so very important, okay? We want to replace these negative thoughts with gratitude thinking. After the emotional release, you want to fill yourself with grateful thoughts, guys. Okay, we want to practice this. Okay, so in 2022, when I was at a very all-time low, I decided to get a gratitude journal. And that gratitude journal, I journaled literally every day for 6 months. So by the mid 2023, the journal was done. And when I tell you, it completely changed my life. It changed the way I think. It changed the way that I approached my days. Okay, during those 6 months, I feel like I never really had a really bad day, because I started my day off with such a high vibe that the rest of the day, even if there were bad moments, I wouldn't see it as, oh, this has been a really bad day. Because what you start with in the morning affects the rest of your day. It's crazy because it's almost because I started my day with a high vibe, the rest of the day was a high vibe. Of course, there were times where there were bad moments throughout the day, but for some reason I just didn't feel like I was spiraling out of control with negativity. So when you replace your thoughts with gratitude, grateful, positive thinking, it can literally change the outcome of your days. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk about, and I think is one of the most important things, is to ensure that you surround yourself with healthy things, okay? What you consume will impact your subconscious mind. This includes like friends, family, people you surround yourself with, but this also includes social media. Social media is a very big problem as to the negative thinking, I believe. In the past, my For You page consisted of a lot of like funny memes about procrastination and failing exams and stuff like that. So that sort of negativity, even though it's meant to be as a joke, it does impact the way you think. And it does result in outcomes that you might not want, okay? So now my For You page looks a bit different. It has K-pop, which is kind of expected for me, as you can see, but it also includes a lot of motivational content, okay? I don't really see those like funny like memes that like put ourselves down almost. I don't really see those much anymore, and that's really impacted the way that I think. Subconsciously, I don't have those thoughts as much as I used to anymore. So you really need to be picky with what you surround yourself with, okay? Be picky with what you're going to consume, because it will change your life. It seems like such a small thing, but it seriously impacts the way you think and the way you act, the way you naturally act. And then the other thing with people is to try not to surround yourself with people who are very negative, because it does affect your energy levels. I talked about this in one of my previous videos as well. But yeah, guys, these are a couple of ways that we can get out of this negative cycle. There are obviously a lot more things that we can do, but this is some stuff that I've done from experience to help me with negative emotions and to break out of negative cycles. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya!